Hello there again, sweet darlings. I'm writing this script sitting on my sofa as the sun is shining today and a baby is asleep across my chest, but I'm thinking of all of you, the women out there tuning into these femininity videos and asking me how to become a better wife or mother. I have to be honest with you all that I make mistakes a lot in my marriage or as a mum. I'm not perfect and I have not perfected being feminine. Often something triggers me and before I know it, I'm arguing with my husband or raising my voice with my daughters. Becoming more feminine takes time for all of us, especially when we're turning to influencers online instead of benefiting from a real-life mentor who can guide us in person. So be patient with yourself. Today I want to share with you 4 more key practices to start in 2025 that are helping me to become more feminine. Since starting these new habits last year, I've found that I can more quickly turn a bad day around. I feel more beautiful even when I'm tired. And I have the energy and creativity to start exploring new creative projects like this YouTube channel, for example. First practice to grow in femininity is learning to say that you're sorry. It's funny that this is so hard for so many of us. We feel somehow justified in waiting for the other person to apologize first. We feel self-important and a little bit hurt, and we might also worry that apologizing for our part in a conflict will make us appear weak. I've recently published a video all about vulnerability which links closely to this habit of apologizing, so I'll link that below if you want to check it out. But learning to apologize and doing it often is very powerful, I have found. It turns out that you do have the power to resolve a conflict if you're happy to put your ego to one side and make that first move. And although it might take a while, in my experience, pretty soon the other people around you will become quicker too to apologize, because you're leading by example. Apologizing is important because ultimately we can only change ourselves, and admitting that we had a part to play in whatever conflict just occurred is quite helpful. Sometimes I don't really know what I did wrong, but I say sorry anyway, and then ask for that person to explain why I upset them or triggered them. This is a great learning opportunity for both of you, and helps others open up to you about behavior that you didn't even realize was hurtful or inappropriate. The second practice to grow in femininity is giving other people credit. In a world that celebrates the individual, we are all tempted too often to take credit for work or results which are not our own. Being humble and saying, "I couldn't have done this without my husband or without the grace of God," doesn't make you a failure. Anyone who judges you to be one simply because you don't go around telling everyone what a great job you did probably isn't a very good friend or influence on you anyway. I'm often tempted to make this mistake myself, but I'm appreciative that my husband will gently remind me when I'm doing it. Success is defined by society as what you do all by yourself, but the true meaning of success is really what you build with others, a family, for example. I gave an example of being humble recently to my stepdaughter, who was saying what an amazing sister she was. "You are a good sister," I told her, "but you should wait for other people to point this out. I might think that I'm a good cook, but I don't walk around the house telling all of you what a good cook I am. It's immensely more meaningful if someone actually tells me they enjoyed a meal I made, or they call me a good cooker, as my toddler likes to call me now." If you start to practice this habit yourself and shift your focus onto others and how you can help them, I'm convinced that those around you will feel incredibly refreshed by your presence. It's so rare these days to meet a woman who congratulates others joyfully and prefers to hear about their stories and dreams rather than boasting of her own. The third practice to grow in femininity is simplifying your beauty routine. If you're spending hours getting ready to face the world, I would argue there is something deep inside that you need to address. No pretty dress or expensive mascara can mask an ungrateful or bitter heart, and focusing too much time or energy on how we look, and how others perceive us, therefore, is not only vain, but it distracts us from the much more important business of serving those we love. Now, that is not to say that I recommend you roll out of bed and take no pride at all in your appearance. But I've learned over time that curling my hair does not make me a more joyful wife, and in fact when I try to find the time to do so, I often become quite cranky. I know so many women who are truly beautiful and they wear no makeup at all. You can tell from their manner and behavior that they have their focus on you and their family, and you no longer see the lines or gray hair or the stains on their skirts which might be there. I was forced to simplify my beauty routine after I became a mum, and I found it very freeing. I don't focus on looking perfect, and I will myself to overlook a pimple or my tired eyes. Smiling at myself and my family makes me feel much more beautiful than perfect skin or a good hairstyle. You'll have to find out what works for you, but I'd recommend doing the minimum you need in order to feel clean and presentable, and then pour that spare time into things that lift you up. Pray, be outside in the sunshine, sleep a little bit more, knit, or dance. The fourth behavior to grow in femininity is learning to remove expectations from the way you behave with others. We all do it, and I'm guilty of it too, but do we really give that gift for the sheer joy it will bring, or are we hoping for a nice compliment and being thought of well in return? Do we give to charity simply so we can tell people that we did so? Do we conduct ourselves as if someone might be watching? I received excellent advice once at confession when I confessed that I was disappointed that I was finding it difficult to make new friends. The priest responded, "Focus on your role and your family. If you can master doing that with joy and grace, people will naturally be attracted to you. Stop worrying about what others think of you in the meantime. Just be where you are and what you need to be to your family." This was spot on. I was practicing so many habits only when we were out and about, and the pressure on myself during those situations was removing the joy from the moment. I wanted to appear like the perfect mother or wife in front of others, rather than slowly perfecting my role for the benefit of my family. I had been doing things because I expected a response or a reward, and not just because it was the right thing to do, or because serving others really brought me joy. I'm still working on this, but each day I feel more joyful in the service of my family. I don't expect a back rub or a gold star anymore for doing this. In fact, when I'm tired, I often start to feel much better after switching my focus back onto how I can make my husband or children more comfortable and relaxed. Growing in femininity takes time, and there are so many little ways to improve in this area. I hope this video gives you some inspiration to start a new habit in 2025, and that these habits bring you many blessings as you grow as a feminine woman. I hope to see you all here again soon for the next one, but in the meantime, take good care everyone, and God bless.